just pretend my tent was there. I packed everything up before I remembered to take a picture. Anyway, start of day 2 behind me is where the tent was. It's now packed up here. Or are we going that way? I came from that way. So let's get going. It's another glorious day. I'm hoping to get 12 hours done today. Or 12 hours like walking, not 12 hours continuously walking. I think my legs would well and truly decompose. It is already getting thin and overgrown. And everything's covered in mildew, which is expected. It's 7:30 in the morning. Oh, this is a bit better. Haystack number 1. Flintstone covered field number 1. And it seems like today's starting off very flat. So we're still quite far away from the nearest road, yet someone, with that process, to dump their old couch there. Why would you bother? Everybody else just dumps them outside in their front garden. And it seems to be a tradition. Even the kiddie musical instrument. Have you not heard of a charity shop? For some reason, this is just making me think I'm in the French countryside. It's very manicured farmers' fields and trees dotted around. Most of northern and central France is quite like this. And you've got that almost perfectly lined avenue. So, village number 1. This is Hayden. So this church behind me in Hayden, its roof got utterly bombed out in the war and they completely rebuilt it. You can just about see there as the arched windows start to arch is new cement. And that's where they had to rebuild it after the bomb. And this tower behind me, you can just tell from the brickwork. There we go, sun's out the way. You can tell from the brickwork. Much newer than the rest of it. This would have just been built from scratch in the 50s. This visitor's book has been here for almost 50 years. This is becoming a recurring theme today, just with different, well, we've gone beyond furniture now. It's PVC, windows, and a kitchen unit and a tyre? I wonder what the Harcomlow Way is. That's the infinity symbol. And damn, if I didn't put these rails in and the sides weren't so steep, I could get a drink. It looks fresh enough. Actually, no, I think I can. My arm's long enough, I'm giving it a go. And here we are, village 2. This is Crystal. Did there used to be a main road through here? A little cat's eye is still surviving. And there's another one. But usually the road would be going. So we've now made it to village number 3, and those 3 swords in a red ensign can only mean one thing. We've gone into county number 2. Probably an hour ago today. I didn't realise, but I crossed over into Essex. Don't think we'll be here for long though. Actually no, we might be here for quite a few hours. Not quite sure, maybe even be tomorrow we cross into Suffolk. Not quite sure of the borders around here. So we're in Elmdon. And you definitely know you're in Essex when you see the wood panelling. Well, I think this may be the biggest church I've come across on this mission so far. But to avoid this becoming my tour of churches, I think I'm just going to keep it along the road. Damn, we're just on a little path. And they managed to have a church here. I think we've got to visit this one. So it turns out we are in the village of Strettle. There are a few houses over there, and I think there are a couple more. I'm pretty sure it's just a hamlet. There's nothing apart from this church within the next 500 metres anywhere here. This building's been here for almost construction was in the period of 1,000 years ago. So it would have started functioning probably like 980 years ago, and they started construction over 1,000 years ago. But they bought the land and started building the church in 1010. And it's still here and seems to still be used for weekly services. As I walk through this, not grown yet, but probably to be cornfield, there's a hum in the background. And it's not the chirping of the birds, it's the M11. It is on motorway number 3. 3 of the trip, first one of the day. And it also means we're getting closer to our first proper town, Great Chesterford, where I'll probably have lunch. Stuff is getting narrow. Whilst je never regret wearing shorts, I am having to step very carefully to avoid my shins getting stung. We made it out alive! As we ring in midday, we crossed the first motorway of the day. This is the M11. Down that way to our south is Stansted Airport and London. And over to there to the north is everyone driving to Cambridge. It's one of these. It's one of my favourite things in the world. And there's a train coming past. Going to Norwich. As expected, Stansted to Norwich is those units. But this is the first rail line I've seen since Letchworth. This is the station at Great Chesterford. This is the Liverpool Street to Cambridge line. And now I'm going to follow it for a little bit. And, well, that could have been our third county. I don't think it is going to be though. We're still in Essex and my legs are too tired to make them few steps. So we're just going to continue up here into the village, further into Essex. Crossing the train tracks. Yeah, I did. I literally just turned around to go back up to the zebra crossing to see the train go by. I used to get those trains all the time when I lived in East London, but seldom see them now. So, for whatever, it was exciting. I haven't seen a train since yesterday when I was on 3. Pretty sure this is village number 4. I'm starting to lose count. But we're in Great Chesterford, and I don't think there's a little one. There may be, I'm not sure. Today's lunch, basically what I didn't eat last night for dinner, because surprisingly I got full before I finished. I'm a stick insect and still eat loads, so that really surprised me. But where I'm having it, it's far nicer. Even though fish and chips is good. I'm having it by the River Cam. This begins its journey in a ditch up there in Essex and then flows through Cambridge. And then, if I'm correct, into the Ouse in Ely. We're crossing another farm. I remember yesterday, these were a lot of rubbish outside, but this one looks very, very neat and has a delightful farmhouse through there. And it looks to be a stable. We've reached our first spat of proper mud. It's all sticking to my shoes. Look at these lovely flowers. I'm not quite sure what they're called, but they smell delightful. The path has more or less turned into a river right now, which is not fun. Probably walking twice. But I would have to if it were dry, it was zigzagging. So, it finally does become our County 3. Or is it? It was actually County 2. We're just about to enter Linton now, which is just over the border in Cambridgeshire, as was where I camped last night. I camped right on the Hertfordshire-Cambridgeshire border, which is a bit squigglier than I first thought. So I started off today walking through Cambridgeshire and then walked into Essex, that being county number 3, and now I'm back in county number 2. And my feet hurt. And here we finally are in Linton. Village number 5. We come down this little side street and it doesn't matter what design, what era of house, they all just seem to, they're all so different, but all just seem to weave together and feel like a proper traditional, not just English, but sort of Northwest European village. I remember seeing villages like this in Denmark. So I'm now, I presume this is the Linton Sports Field. I mean, it must be with them things in the pavilion. I've just been to the Linton kitchen. Lovely little place, delightful staff, and they made a pretty good ice cream, which I already devoured because I was so thirsty, but they also very lovingly filled up my water bottle. It's full. It's not just bone dry, it's full of lovely water, and I got sugar encrusted bread and butter pudding, which I will gradually eat through the rest of the day as and when I'm hungry. I've already had a couple bites. It is divine. I'm mesmerised by this building. It's like an industrial unit, but it's all built in flints. I don't think I've ever seen a building like this. And it's got some old windows. It's either got like Victorian or 30s windows. It's so strange. It's still operational. That's brilliant. I just checked the map. It's a nursing home, I think. That's what Google Maps says. So we finally climbed the hill atop Linton, in between here and the next village that I'll go through, Bolton. And there's this water tower called Rivy Hill Water Tower. It must be Rivy Hill on the top then. So we've made it to this intersection. I'll just come from there. This is a Roman road. And it's still preserved as it was 2,000 years ago. It was quite a minor road. So it's just a track and gravel. It wasn't all fancily paved like the diagram I think we all saw in school. This was just a local road to connect up a garrison in the countryside in I think Essex with Colchester and Cambridge. Which of course Colchester, ending in Chester. Very famous Roman settlement. I think its Celtic name was Cumulodunum, which is the name it's known as more prolifically than its very long-winded Roman name. And there it is, going from Cambridge, the red dotted line, to where we are, to the Beyond Lands. Oh, you've even got that little calf. Well, the cows came to say hello. I don't know whether that's that they saw my red roll mat. I thought I was suspicious, but hello cows, and farewell, have a lovely afternoon. We're continuing this way. Another water tower This time a much more modern design, clearly. Looks straight out of the 1950s. They got loads of water towers like that in France. They're in almost every village near where I've got a holiday home in the family. It's like you go over every next hill, water tower, around the corner, water tower, and they're even more hideous than that one. They're just the exact same sort of, they look like a torch, just a concrete torch. They're everywhere, they're so hideous, but they give you water. So I made it to Bolsham, and it's got a pretty ginormous church with this plinth that seems to have 4 different brick styles in it. I have a feeling it may have had a similar fate to the first church I came across today in Hayden, where it got bombed. I've been seeing these in the distance for probably the past maybe 4 hours, and I finally reached, well, a point where I can see them from full height, but I can see now where they are. Yeah. Those 3 there in the middle seem to have almost coalesced. Me starting to think all these cat's eyes were just second hand, because this is another just farming track. The random cat's eyes. It's still got this little plastic thing, although utterly mangled. I wonder what the... Because actually, no, it looks like it was pretty embedded. Maybe farmers did buy them and properly use them. Who knows? This track just feels like it goes on forever. But I set out to do this challenge and I'm gonna complete it. We got haystacks. This is the first hay graveyard we've come across. But these farm tracks are getting a bit boring now. Anyway, dinner soon. I got my torch shining in my eye. This is quite annoying. I have to do this so that you can see me. I'm in my tent. It is the end of day 2. I'm in the beer garden of a pub I just had dinner at, and they very, very kindly let me use a beer garden to camp in instead of trying to find somewhere far out of this village. It rained for a little bit, I think like 5-10 minutes. I luckily just got the tent up, but annoyingly, if I just waited, well, 5 or 10 minutes, I could have weathered the rain indoors and everything would have stayed dry, but oh well. Everything will dry quickly in the morning. Anyway, today legs were more and more tired. I didn't pick up as much history as I did yesterday, but I saw more trains. That was fun. The dirt tracks did get boring. There seemed to be a bit of a lack of variation of path. Anyway, it's about 9:30. I am going to bed. I'll see you in the morning.